slides of 20 seconds each. So for an introduction, we thought we would just do a very quick half Pecha Kucha, so that's 10 slides at 20 seconds each, and as an extra special thing for Martin, he hasn't seen the slides. So he's going to totally wing it.
I am.
And I prepared them ages ago, so I don't know what we were going to say. But anyway, so if I hit play, they roll.
We go.
Okay, off you go, Martin.
Is this my slide? I love Pecha Kucha because it is the... Wow! Hey. Technical error. Thank you very much. That was great. I think that was probably the best presentation I've ever done.
And you can all go now. Hello, set. Okay, there are 0 seconds.
So what's my grid? Thank you. I'm definitely challenged anyway, so it's not.
Right, we're going to try again. Try again.
Okay.
So I was about to tell you why...
You can stand in the light.
Oh, I can stand the light, but then I've got to move. I was going to tell you that I love Pecha Kucha because it is literally the only format of presentation you can legitimately do with a beer in your hand. And then all I have to do is fill like maybe another 5 or 6 seconds, and it'll change onto a slide that Sharon needs to talk about, and she knows what she's going to say. But I did want to say thank you to Archifos, Katia, and to Formalighting, our sponsor, for the presentation.
You missed a slide, that's too late. So anyway, I hope lots of you know about the project. We've talked about it today, and I think quite a few of you are involved, or you do know about it. Juliette very kindly agreed to organise tonight, thinking it'd be really easy, but I think it's been quite complex.
Oh, I don't know what the next slide is. Oh, hello. So, we've done, as part of this project, we've been out and we've interviewed 50 people. When we started, we thought it was going to be 50 women, sorry. When we started, we thought it was going to be 20, and it's absolutely grown beyond our belief, beyond our expectation, thanks to you.
Talks too much. So we also have 67 ambassadors for the project as of now, and they're all doing events all around the world. It's amazing. So tonight we have quite a few of our ambassadors here talking. Why am I slides slower? They're going to present a little bit about their country or their background.
And we've got ambassadors from the Netherlands, which is what we learned the first time we came here. You're not allowed to call it Holland, it's the Netherlands. Juliette? Oh, sorry, it's still me. Sorry. Christine.
And
Veronica from Austria. Thank you very much for coming tonight.
Perfect, perfect. So we also have Sabine from, hang on. Sabine from Germany, Rayan from Algeria and Morocco, Paulina from Chile, Claudia from Peru. We have Anamika, did I get that right? Yeah, from Netherlands. We've got Alejandra from Costa Rica, Menekşe, because it's like Sharon, I've got it now, and Katia from Greece. I think, no, we've got one more.
So you've basically done all of the names while they weren't even on screen, so now I just have to fill for 20 seconds. And the thing about Pecha Kucha is when you're up here, sometimes 20 seconds can feel like forever, and then sometimes 20 seconds is gone before you can even breathe. And this time I think it feels like ever.
I think you read the slides in a really weird way at the time. Anyway, thank you all for coming. We are going to shut up and let other people speak. Oh, I thought we did. Catholic, she's brilliant. She's over there. So hopefully we're done, and it's time to kick off.
There's 20 seconds left. This is the last slide. One of the things that Katya's done is she's been looking after the social media for the project. And the reason the project is so successful is because what she's done, getting the word out there. Big round of applause for Katya, please. She's done loads of little online projects where people have contributed, and we hope you all continue to contribute. Thank you very much for coming tonight.
And also thank you to Forma. We love you. You're a brilliant sponsor. Thank you very much. And thank you to you for putting this together.
okay, there I go. First of all, I just want to thank Sharon and Martin for doing the introduction. This morning, my son asked me, like, are you proud of being an ambassador for the Netherlands for Women in Lighting? And I was like, well, actually, to be honest, I'm terrified. And then I was thinking, okay, I saw the presentation of Sharon this morning, and she showed herself like a very vulnerable person. And you can make mistakes, it doesn't matter, just be yourself and try to make something out of it. And I think that was so nice. So now I really feel proud, and especially because we have 11 women here which are going to tell personal stories, which I think was super difficult for all of us. We were like, okay, a presentation about your work is quite easy because you tell it quite often, but saying something about yourself is like quite a challenge. And then in 20 slides, 20 seconds is like a real challenge. So I'm going to kick off. Hopefully it will be okay. To start off, well, I was born and raised in Spain, in Malaga, where it's very sunny. There's nice sea, nice light sun on the water, really beautiful. I had a great time there. But at a certain moment, my parents, they got divorced. My father ran off. My mum stayed behind and had to take care of the children, so she had to find a way of create a living, and in Spain it wasn't possible, so we went to the Netherlands. I was 13 years old, and actually my mother, she's really an example for me. I put a picture of her up here, you'll see it in a second, because she just raised 2 children. She went, worked, even though she hadn't worked before. And she made sure that we had a good living, and she was like really being, how do you say it, standing on her own feet, and I think that's really nice. So she showed us that you can be strong, me and my sister, and she gave us a chance to do our study, the one we wanted to do. So I studied interior architecture, and there is the first time I got in contact with lighting, because I got some lighting design lessons from Rogier van der Heijden. He was teaching those days, and really in a passionate way. So I'm really searching for examples out in the field, which was super nice. And I did an internship at his office where I did some theater lighting, and that was amazing, like working with light and water and making these nice scenarios and really learning about the magic of light, which is super. So after that I went to Nottingham for a student exchange program where I did theatre design, but actually I was only working with light. So then I thought, okay, I think my future is going to be in lighting. And I got an opportunity to work at Hollands Licht, which is the first office Rogier van der Heijden founded. And that's working life. It was super exciting. We did so much nice stuff and got so many chances to do real cool stuff. As you can see there, we have cupboards which already had some lamps, so we could really do some trials and everything. And there was a nice thing, like really working hands-on and having the light in your hands, so going from a sketch to a scale model with little bicycle lamps. And on the last picture you see the real result. This is the Science Museum in London. And that was such an exciting way of working, like really hands-on and seeing the light. And in the end we also got awarded for these projects, which was like amazing. I didn't even know there were awards, and then we got an award, which was super. For some projects we did, mainly in London actually, the Mind Zone in the Millennium Dome and the Science Museum. And after that I thought, well, I did interior design, maybe it's nice to do it again. So I went to an interior design office, and then I became pregnant of my first child, Mila. And when I wanted to start working again after maternity leave, I asked my boss, well, can I start maybe half an hour earlier so that I can pick up my child from kindergarten? And then he said, well, I don't think so. I think that mothers are unsuitable for working. So I was like really, really, really mad. And I thought, well, I'm going to leave. So I just left. And actually I was like super confident that I would be able to make it. I don't know why, but I was like, okay, I'm going to just do it. And I'm going to try and work as a freelancer, and it happened. I worked at Atelier Lek, which was then from Shoot van Beers and Judith Dijkstra. And I got an opportunity to be a freelancer after I worked in that office, which was really nice because there I got a chance to be a mother and work and combine things, which I think is super important. And then I got another child, Camille, super cute. And which is really important also when you're doing this work and you have your own company, is to have support of your partner, my husband, Martin, who has really supported me in doing all this work and being there also at home for the children at the moments that I couldn't be there. And a couple of years after, Sjoerd and I started off a new company, Juliette Nielsen. And also I'm really grateful to him that we two, as two partners, are really equal and are really enjoying our work also with our great team, because we have a team of, mainly women, like 60% women, 40% guys. But it shouldn't be less guys, because we think equality is really good and is good for the whole kind of balance in your team. And we work on super nice stuff like exterior, urban design, interior, sometimes installations, and you see that everyone in their own way in the team try to really make something out of it. And we try to give people the space to be able to combine like their being parents, for example. Other people's aren't parents, but they're sports they want to do. And we think it's important to have this kind of human part to actually really think about it when you're employing people. We really like hands-on way of working, so we're always climbing on ladders and getting stuff out of the cupboard. Maybe you saw our company, which has a lot of lamps and stuff to work with. This is a project I'm proud of because it just opened. It's in a shopping street behind here, where we work with entrepreneurs to get a rundown area actually to lift it up and make it a nicer space. And this one I'm also very proud of, especially for Sjoerd and Wim. They've worked really hard to make this beautiful installation. It's actually dynamic, where you see the kind of leaf pattern on the ceiling, like if you're in the forest, because this is a forest. It's in the forest, this pavilion. And then, very important, lighting design we think is for people, like everything you do should be for people and not just for systems or whatever. It's for fun, for inspiration and enjoyment. And we find it important to also always stay, as a company, always stay curious, open-minded and dare to explore. And really, together be a team, women and men all together. So I would like to thank you. So now I would like to ask Cristina Martinez to come and tell her story.
Thank you very much. Hello everyone, my name is Cristina Martinez. I'm a project designer at ACT Lighting Design in Brussels and the Women in Lighting Ambassador for Belgium. Tonight I would like to take the opportunity to tell you about my journey and the highlights that have made me the lighting designer I am today. If you would have asked me about 8 years ago what was life for me, I would probably have come with something like you're seeing right now, a bright, happy sun. And I'm pretty sure that at least one among us would like to be at a Pecha Kucha somewhere in the Caribbean, starting with myself. Coming from Venezuela, light, in this case daylight, it's pretty much taken for granted. We have days of bright sun all day long, and we have some rainy days. But most of the time throughout the whole year, our daylight time remains constant. Some people might find it monotonous, but this is the way I knew. 12 hours of light and 12 hours of darkness. During my studies of architecture, my instincts orientated me to play with the natural light within buildings, shadows and tectonics. Keeping this in mind, on my architectural thesis, I worked on daylight control, and that's when it hit me. I wanted to know more, and I wanted to be an architect that knew how to implement light from the very start in conception of a building. That's when I decided to join the program of Architectural Lighting and Health in KTH Stockholm. So as you see here, this is not Venezuelan picture. This is Stockholm of a picture taken at 4 p.m. on a time pretty much like this. Studying in Sweden has its own challenge, like understanding the time of the day by looking at the sun or the colors as the sun moves horizontally and not above my head as I was used to. I also learned about long shadows and short days. But I also understood that lighting it's pretty much very close to a cultural understanding, a cultural behavior. We know, not all of us knows lighting, interpreted lighting the same way. We as lighting designers are able to shape and to modify a space by making perhaps a simple intervention. As you can see here, we can make a space as comfortable, as home, or as fantastic. I'm still fascinated how we could make a lighting machine out of some Par 20 and some scrap material. 6 years ago was my first PLDC. I was finishing my studies and ready to jump into the lighting professional world. At that experience, I met the team of ACT Lighting Design, I got an interview, and there I was, ready to take my next step, to move to Brussels. The job was amazing, but the weather was not at all. My first job was at beautiful France, a thematic medieval attraction. When I arrived, the project was at its latest stage, and I learned about flexibility in time and space, as very briefly after my arrival, I was sent on site. This is one of my favorite things to do. But a mission that was supposed to take 2 weeks, this mission took 2 weeks, but it became 4 months living there, when I joined the team to support an after project. At that time, I didn't know that an architect nor a lighting designer could build up drones. And then it taught me to think out of the box, to not say no to opportunities, as crazy as they seem, and that taking the right attitude on demanding situations will take you far. After that, I rejoined my team at office work, and I participated in a very challenging and exciting project. The concept was super strong, and nothing could describe it better as its name, a timeless elegance. A suspension of time, a golden way brought to life by visual projections and details were everything. In our expertise, I've been able to participate as well on larger projects, such as lighting master planning and design of activation hubs within the urban complexity. Because I believe that urban projects are not only functional, they also have to hit this special hint that will mark the difference. Part of our scope of work is covered by shopping malls. I've taken part of several projects from concept till the definition of the whole lighting vision. And understanding and respecting the architecture and the lighting within is one of our greatest challenges, but also allows us to find smart ways how to deal with our common late arrival to projects. My work as a lighting designer has brought up architectural lighting together with entertainment joined together, where we combine dynamics, flexibility, and different skills like lighting, art, design to create experiences to gather and engage. None of these projects will be possible if you're not ready and able to engage with the community we're working for, to engage with our end user, and only then, when we understand this, we will be able to fulfill our purpose. So, what about women in lighting? Women in lighting, it's a controversial project, it can be a controversial project, but yet necessary. We can agree that in our community we are open to each other and we comprehend. But we still encounter the fact that women have to fight harder to gain reliability in the working environment. Sometimes women themselves put barriers when they are not. At ACTLD, we are 50-50 plus, but we still see the influence of a well-rooted traditional structure. As I said, it happens even in the best families. Don't get me wrong, it's like this. But this is quickly changing, as there is a big working force of female ready to rock the world. So if you're a man or a woman, this concerns us all. Man and woman should complement. If you're a woman, you should speak up no matter your position. And if you're a man, be the role model among your peers. We shall respect our values, our ideas, and our capacities, but more and more to collaborate throughout the entire community, lighting community. Diversity does not only apply to the project we engage, it also applies to the team we work with to make that possible. So in an interpretation of Jane Jacobs' quote, we're only gonna be better lighting designers if we work side by side and we use our best of our knowledge to make it better. From what I've learned, I'm very grateful to my teachers, my tutors, classmates, and colleagues. I hope you have enjoyed the last 7 minutes. Thank you very much. Have a lovely
Hi everyone, my name is Veronica Mayberg. I'm the ambassador of Women in Lighting in Austria. We just started very late to join this program, so I'm still researching how many women we have in Austria, and I actually, before preparing this lecture, I found out I'm the only one like having an engineering office all alone as a woman in Austria. And so it's interesting. You want to start? I have to.
Change the first one and then.
Okay. Still a little time. No, my approach, I would say I'm a pretty much of an outlaw. I just enter. Yes, thank you. So I studied dance and architecture in parallel. So to me, light is movement. Actually, I fell in love with dance, and my dance teacher once asked me, "Hey, could you just do some lighting for a show?" And to me, that was an absolutely missing link. Like light to me is linking the ephemeral between the moving body and the built environment. So lighting is movement, and also that's why I fell very much into the research of light and perception. And also our eyes are constantly moving, so the act of seeing is a very interactive process, and we are constantly moving. So that's why the major influences in my studies have been our Faculty of Architecture of Graz, because they implemented very, very early lighting design in the architectural curriculum. Also, of course, my dance class, very early experience in theater lighting. I went on with being an architectural lighting manufacturer, got bored by industries, went back to theater. And then started to work freelance, and then more and more got into exhibition lighting, and ending up doing my own engineering office. And now I'm mainly working actually in the museum field, so this is a little bit my work field. And actually I combine, I think I'm a symbiosis of a lighting technician and an academic, which is sometimes I realize hard to take, in particular if you're a woman, that you show up in working clothes, climbing up a ladder and doing some cabling and be super nice with the craftsmen on the construction site, and then on the other hand sit on the table, discuss concepts with architects. So sometimes it's kind of a gap. And yeah, to me, like I would like to go through some projects because it's easier for me to talk about my approach. To me, light is resonating space. I developed a certain teaching method involving the multisensory awareness of the body, because I think it's perceiving and talking about lighting ambience is very much about all senses. So what I do with students, architecture students, lighting students, I involve the body. I make them like shift spaces, like experiment with the vision, and try to break the visual habits to be able to formulate the language and to name things what they see and to embed it more consciously. To me, light is experience. This is a wonderful project that happened in, it's called Dancing Museum. It's a European funded project. It's the choreographer Lucy Langley at the National Gallery in London. And it's inviting performing artists to interact within the museum field between the artworks and the visitors. And I just ask you, how would you look to this picture if the women wouldn't be lying on the floor? So the aspect of perception has very much a kinesthetic side of it, which I'm very interested in. So light to me is magic. This is my first experience in lighting was a lot of theater lighting, the body in space. Light is an artistic tool, is a very ephemeric artistic approach where you can create visions which you slowly and then define into a technical realization. And yeah, this is actually a point of departure where I think it's important to switch if you're also a technician and also sometimes take the place of an artist. I think it's very important to see both sides. Light is understanding, as I'm mainly in the field of museum lighting. To me, here you see some art lighting, for example, a very dedicated art piece in the Art History Museum in Vienna, or the famous Bosch triptych where I realized the lighting design last year. So just the body posture of people tells you how they interact, how they are understanding. Seeing is an interactive process, so how much you can pick out of something and how you generate content, how much you show, how you guide people into the context. So previously we had a lot of lighting studies for this particular artwork of the Bosch triptych. So to me, like, it's a lot about observation. So what are you working on? The really, like, on the right you see like very simple studies, cold or light, background, foreground plays, which work together with certain pigments of the artwork. Then how would you divide something if you have a very like glary picture to realize? So, and how do you juxtapose things? Lighting to me is guiding views. How do you guide someone? How do you open up a space? How much time do you give somebody to rest? How much, when you let them look at the next step? And of course, to me, like, light is choreographing gazes and getting on into opening up spaces and meanings. So yeah, for the next slide. Light is answering needs. Coming to a client level, I'm a very fan of thinking A to Z. So identifying needs. For example, this is a very big museum renovation I did in Vienna. For the Kunsthaus will be opening next spring. We invented the whole lighting system for the particular needs, which is like combining different sorts of lighting, like accent lighting across the room, and a channel system which is also connected to climate control. Light to me is interaction. This is a result of a research I did working with wearables. I presented it in PLDC 2015, where we embed sensors that translate light into sound, so people can pass through this daylight passage, producing colored shades. And the singing wall, which is the name of this installation, and a museum in Innsbruck will start to react, and you can like interplay and see how you put yourself into space. Light is ephemeral as a tool. This was project the Ice Hotel, an art shoot we did realize last December in Jukkasjärvi in Sweden. It's called Kamos of Inko, the Son of the Polar Night. And it's about the idea that the midnight sun is coming for overwinter to Ice Hotel to stay. So we have the juxtaposition of the two most extreme seasons of the north, having one space, having warm hues and changing colors of the midnight sun, and the other juxtaposing is the twilight of the polar winter. And yeah, light is time. And the shift of time and how you put it and how you put it into place. And yeah, it's I'm not so experienced in Pecha Kucha format. So yeah, I think it's time to thank you.
And what now this is who I am. I'm very different from all the light designers here in this building, because I'm an older one, I'm an elder one, I'm 59 years old. I was born in Rotterdam. I have two sons, the two nice sons, Roger and Martin. They are also both in the light. A little red child, 7 years old, and I'm very proud of. My story is very different, because I am not a lighting designer, but I am in the light, but on a very different way the other ones have. My hobbies are reading and sport and everything what has to do with experience. I have had a lot of companies like Romar, I've been in living projects, I've been in Archifos, and now I'm away in the Luxembourg. That's a very long story, because Romar, you know, Roger and Martin, that are my two sons. We have a nice company, and it's all about experience, an experience about light. How I become in the light and how I become in this experience is a very different way. I was very ill when I had my two sons. I have to say goodbye to them. My illness was so bad that it was the end of me. And then I said, okay, when I go out of the hospital, I will do something with the lights, because when you lay in the hospital and you see a white corridor, then you see, okay, the end is my death. And I said, when I come out of it, I will do something with it. I will do something with this experience. And that's where I became an experience expert. An experience expert in the way of, okay, how you feel it when you are in a room. What is your sense? What is your way of thinking? How is the comfort in a room? And so I started Roma with my 2 sons and my husband. This was the very first project we have did, and maybe you know it, the floating pavilion here in Rotterdam. A project I'm very proud of, because we are very new in the light and still only made such like these things. And another very nice product is the how do you say it in English? I don't know it. The Theater of the King. Yes, you know that. Okay. Yes. And we work together with a light designer, and that's for us. Every time away we work with a light designer, and we make then the lights, and we install it, and we make the whole project of it. Now here you see the whole project. It is a very smart thinking about when the guests are coming. They are coming to a building who is very nice in the light, but the color of the light will change every time. So we do the program with it, we do the install with it, and the program is every time our USP, because I think when you put a light on, it's very nice, but it's very interesting how you make the programming a whole picture. Then in 2015 I became Businesswoman of the Year, and so here I came on the corridor and they said, okay, you are the Businesswoman of the Year. And I was very proud, because it is not for me, it was for the company with my sons and the company with my husband. This is for me very important, because a lot of time ago I was in the hospital, I had to say goodbye to my children, and now I have done this for them. Sorry that I become emotional, okay. This was very important. 2014, 2015, I became Businesswoman of the Year for them. Then we made a lot of projects with experience, not only with light, but also with sound, with vision. And so I made the concept of a new concept of the year. And every time when we came somewhere, then we said, okay, how do you feel it? What do you like to have? What is important for you? And then we made the concept of light, sound, and vision. And that is what you see here, a nice coming to the next level. And I hope now, yes, okay. This is a project with Gaming. There's a retailer who sell the products, and we did with the lighting and the sound and the vision programming, so you can walk down, and this company sells a lot of more products now when we have made this. It is a company, I don't know if someone knows Gaming, but Gaming is a worldwide company who sells to the gardens and to grocers. And here for us, this was the project we said, okay, here was light, sound, and everything. And then became a black page in my book, because Romar is bankrupt. We have grown too fast, and we don't have any money to invest. So my child Romar was gone away. And that is really a black page in my book, and that's why this is also really black. And then I have to think, okay, what I have to do now? First I was ill, then I had a nice company, then I had to start to do this, and now I have nothing. But I'm little, but I'm strong, and I say, okay, no, it is not so, I'm not stopping now, I go further. Then I go to another company, the company Living Projects, take us over, and then I come as a woman in a technical world. They are very different. They are not, for me, the experience. They are technicians, and they said, oh, that's the woman with the plants, oh, that's the woman with the nice colors, oh, that's the woman of, but not the woman who loves light, and the woman who loves experience, and the woman who loves everything behind them. And then I became very angry, and I said, okay, wait, I will stop. I worked with 2 years, and then I go away, and I go to another company. And I think a lot of years are done, okay. After that, I'm going to, went to another company, Archifos is in the art, it's a very different company. But now, in the moment, I'm still back, I'm now working with Luxembourg, and now they asked me, please take over your, I said it, yeah, I come back, and I do again the projects of light, sound, vision, and so on. So please wait for me, and you see me again. Thanks very much.
Hello everybody. For me it's a pleasure to be here with all of you. I'm coming from Costa Rica. So I want to show you where Costa Rica is. We are a small country, but with a lot of happy people, I think. I really want to share with you why I'm very proud of this country and why I decided to be a lighting designer. Those pictures show how much I love this country. We have a lot of volcanoes, we have rivers, we have the sea. No, I really want to share because we are a country that is developing a lot of people that that are fighting to growing and to feel like visible around the world. So I want to show you our capital, San Jose. We have like more horizontal developments. Our country, I want to show you some examples because that shows why I decided to become a lighting designer. This is, there are two projects in the capital that, as you can see in the next page, that can show you why people how people is working hard on lighting, but we are making efforts. We have this on the private funds and this with public ones. They are both spaces with a lot of similarities. This is our country. I mean, when you are talking about these kind of projects, you know that there are a lot of efforts being there. Now that shows you how I became a lighting designer. So I love and my passion is design. So I started studying licentiate of architecture. Then in 2015 I found I started my studies in Bismarck University. Then in the middle of 2012 and 2014 I founded this company. I'm an architect, and I share this company with construction and architecture as well. And then I decided to move to lighting as well. So I have both companies now. One is this one. This just shows our lighting design consultancy. We work like many different projects. I decided to make it like that because it's necessary to show the people how to make grow in your country through the light. So this is my project, my final project of the master, interactive lighting installations. I love the art. I love the art combined with the architecture and with nature as well. Those are some commercial projects that I designed as well. Those are for retail. There are some projects that I'm showing you that I'm proud about. Then I have want to show you this one. There are residential projects, retail projects, and now we're working together with some engineers just to make it work. So I think that it's like I mean it's a big effort, but we are. Wait. No, it's okay. Sorry. Excuse me. No, it is not finished at all.
Oh.
No.
You have some slides then?
Yeah, a lot of it. Like more than a half, I think. Too sorry. Yeah. So I just wanted to show you the projects I'm working on. I'm focused more on residential as well. As I told you before, those are part of the company. Now I think this one makes me feel that I should grow pretty fast. That now I'm working some projects in the US. To be honest, like it's difficult in Costa Rica because we are a country that is developing for the future, I think, to find some projects. So that's why I'm working in the US, in Barbados, in Panama, and Canada, and I work from internet. So just from that. Now I'm teaching at the university as well. I have students of architecture and interior design. So I'm proud of these works of them. How should I transmit my feelings to them and to create like a lighting culture for them as well? Which one are my particular challenges for being not just a lighting designer, just an architect as well, both of them? I think it's sometimes credibility with men and everything, and to create a light of culture. Here is the reason why I'm here and why I'm happy to be here, because this is my generation of Bismarck, and look, all of this, all of these countries together, we were 15 nationalities. So that's why I'm proud and happy to be with all of you.
Pecha Kucha's bring their own special technical challenges.
Such a great night, isn't it? I think. Thank you all for coming here today and joining us. And like the other amazing women here, I would like to show women's presence in lighting industry through my own background and history. Woo! Very good. So, I am the Irish ambassador, but I'm originally coming from Turkey. And the city I'm coming from is located on the southern coastline of Turkey, which is called Adana, and it's very famous with kebab. And ironically, I'm vegetarian. And I studied interior architecture, and I really wanted to do it. And what I've done, I practiced less than a year in professional life, and it was lots of sleepless nights and models, mock-ups, and colors, material. I really enjoyed every bit. And at the same time, there was not enough emphasis on daylight, on artificial light. No actually interest in the light and health at all. So that's the reason I thought, okay, there's something wrong here. If you look at this visualization at my early career, so lots of spotlights for a bedroom, and also for other areas I could see actually something is missing. So I attended Wismar University, and at that time there were lots of workshops, lots of experiments, manufacturers visit, and industry collaborations. Also lots of fun, all hands experiments. But also there was ice cream, lots of ice cream, lots of partying, barbecues and everything. If you look at the image on the top, it just coincidentally, 6 of us are coming from different nationalities, India, Russia, Chile, Turkey, Taiwan, Germany, and apart from we are all eating ice cream, so it was quite diverse and nice environment. I did my internship in Berlin in Germany, so I have to mention here Carla because she's a great role model for all females, I think. She's a great designer, at the same time she's also quite practical in all platforms. And this was a kind of fusion dinner we were holding there to exchange our cultures. Then I moved to another city with television tower, Ankara, Turkey, and I was head of the lighting design department there in a manufacturer. And these beautiful two women, I am still proud and happy to see how they are growing in their own careers. It was nice time over there. Then I moved to Ireland following my marriage, and well, I married a Turkish guy, but yeah, we are living in Ireland. So probably you all know this nice cliffs, lush green environment, and nice people. At the same time, Guinness and Paddy's Day, I guess you all celebrate in your own countries now. Yeah, it's nice. And I joined Arab team. And if you look at these images, global Arab lighting team, I think it's quite well balanced, like in terms of gender equality. And Florence is also another inspiring woman. She is a great role model for all of us, I would say. And Arab is a great company to empower gender equality, I have to say this. This is actually Dublin team, a smaller scale, Arab teams. So we are 90% of us are females, just we have one guy. It's a nice balance, isn't it? So it's also, again, quite diverse. We are all, three of us are coming from different backgrounds, like Turkish, Irish, Italian, so I can say we're proud of. And I've been working on different variety of projects from the beginning, from religious building to healthcare, hospitality, education, mixed-use workplaces, product design. And since last year, I am also teaching in the university, Dublin Technological University, in the engineering department. Just to give you more idea on what I do, I would like to show a few projects that completed recently. This one is Dublin Airport Control Tower. This was for Dublin Aviation Authority. And we have lots of facade lighting here, color changing, for some Paddy's Day screen. You can imagine. And this is for a developer in the heart of Dublin. Typical project, I guess you all do at some point, like a shell and core, facade, and party ground project. And it's not easy at all. And this is a glimpse to a fit-out project in Dublin again. They recently completed for autodesk, like lots of fun, techy stuff. And if you could see here, there's Jameson bottles. They were recycled for being a pendant in the pub area. It was also quite fun. And I was lucky enough to be part of the Venice Architectural Biennale last year. I was supporting the Irish team there with lighting design. So it was quite exciting project and different nature than what we do normally. So it was good to stop and think more about art and architecture. The theme was pretty marked. And the last project I will show you is about Global Brain Health Institute in Dublin. This is interactive media ceiling. It's apart from being a dynamic lighting, it also helps researchers to simulate their findings on the screen with this connecting with this ECG device that you put on your head. Yet we are that present in the industry, and I think we don't get enough recognition and credit. For example, what happened to me in the past week when I went to the site with my male colleagues, even though I'm in charge, they tend to talk to them instead of me. This happens all the time. This was quite annoying. And at the same time, inappropriate language, I would say, in the construction industry. So it's used very, very often. And it's not okay for both males and females. But when it happens, they just turn to me, sorry manager, even though, I mean, this is taught for everyone, just because I'm female. I think there's something bothers me. And also the social events, if we are celebrating at the end of a project or something, like mainly male favorite sports we are doing, like watching rugby or playing golf. I think it could be more inclusive for everyone, I would say. Oh, I don't say let's do yoga, okay, but at the same time we can do something else. So I think let's understand first and accept this. Then after that we can embrace and celebrate diverse in our workplaces. So this was a great social media event, Balance for Better, showing two colleagues, one male and female together and posting Instagram. So thank you very much.
Hallo iedereen. Yes, I should switch languages. That's something I sometimes do. Today I had it as well. I was ordering in a language that the waiter didn't understand. So the Studio the Scooter, that is my baby, let's say, my company since 4.5 years. And it's not the first. I founded 3 other companies before. And I'm from Belgium, so we're naturally drawn to light. It's the brightest spot, and you can see Belgium from space just as you can see the Great Wall. So, tiny country in Europe. Nevertheless, we've got very well lit highways, as you will know. For me, lighting design, it started with a small spark during my master's studies. Somehow, by coincidence, I ended up in a workshop from Kurt Vermeulen from ACT, and he actually showed that lighting design could be a choice of profession before I didn't know. And then suddenly you find yourself in Canada lighting up ice castles. So a whole world opens, and I've never been at that side of the pond to North America, and suddenly we're spraying water on a wooden structure and then illuminating it. I mean, and that is just what I love about this work. There are so many different directions in lighting design. There's so many different things, and well, the -26 and mainly working in darkness, nobody briefed me on this. So therefore, we're trying to work more in the Mediterranean sector. That is one of our current building sites, not a joke. So actively moving directions summer instead of winter. Lighting for basements. It's sad. It's sad, but still we want to feel or make people feel really nice. So where Isabella is sitting, that's actually a basement for a startup office in Berlin, and we try to bring in different settings where people feel happy and want to work. During my studies as architect and interior architecture, I lacked the input on designing from the user's perspective. We were very much taught to design from technology side, from materials, and so on. I moved direction design thinking, which is a methodology, and this is one of the companies. What Would Harry Do is a design thinking company that we that I and some 10 others co-founded, and we bring in a user-centered perspective to design. And this is a project that we did for a park in Berlin, and that we submitted to these awards in 2013, and it shows like how you can bring a human perspective to a project and design from user research and involve lighting in it. It doesn't have to be lighting as a result, but for us it's more about the process. Currently our office is focused on office lighting. We do a lot of projects for technology startups. This is for a blockchain co-working space called Full Node in Berlin. And just this week it's been selected as best workplace. So it's also about the human perspective. And this slide I wanted to show because for us, the clients, and for me, my inspiration are people, are conversations with people, and I think I had already lots of them today. Here, the client said her biggest bug was lighting on her face when she's pitching and feeling insecure, so we did Skype-friendly lighting. yeah, sky-breathing lighting. So yeah, you look nice, you feel confident, and you can speak to people abroad. Another thing that really drives me in my work is perception and this kind of curiosity. So with this, we did this installation before, or the installation Your Point of View. This was a collaboration project with Vulcan Lighting, a startup, so to say, in LED lighting. In Germany-based company, and we said, okay, good. How can we rethink a booth instead of at light a building? Let's bring it out there. Let's do something with your project, with your product in a different place. And this is also Isabella trying to make models. And for us, like inspiration comes whilst we're building, whilst we're doing tests. We're not only trying to figure out how it works, but it has to be foldable and transportable as well, because we're often on the road. And this is us, or part of the team at least, trying and pitching. This is me, like, trying to convince the client. Can you see it? Yes! Of course I've covered lighting, and I don't know, probably doing some funny poses all the time, but yeah. We climb ladders and do things, and I would say, like, for us it's creativity is our currency, which is really the mother in our office, and I would say creativity wouldn't be possible without diversity. So it's all about getting this input from different people, and yeah, this is also us in the office searching for inspiration. So yeah, they're creative ninjas. Good, thank you.
Hello everyone. My name is Ryan Mikhaili. I'm originally from Algeria and I'm working in Morocco. I did a small timeline so you can know me better. In 2010 I started medical school for 2 years. Believe me, it was clearly not for me. So I decided to do what I wanted to, which is interior architecture. I did my bachelor in it, and back 20 seconds. Okay, and then this more I did my master's degree, then I had a baby, and then I became a lighting designer. So this is from where I came from. I was born in Algeria. This is Algiers, Mediterranean, as you can see, city. Very ancient, very modern at the same time. We are clearly very crazy, special people. And this is the neighbors, which are Morocco. I live in Morocco. I live especially in Casablanca, work there. So you can see different aspects from my hometown. And then okay, 20 seconds. Okay, so this is what I used to do as an interior architect. And believe me, first I didn't know anything about lighting design, and I was shocked that there is a master degree that can make me lighting designer, and I will work in it. And so my master thesis was about influence of light on Arab Muslim culture. It was because I chose this because I believe that we have to know from where we come from, so we can understand ourselves better, and then you can deliver better solutions. So this is what I do with ProLight, is where I work as lighting designer and responsible for studies. So we do many different kinds of projects, from interior, exteriors, facades, Olympic pools, museums, everything. But it's quite new field in Morocco and Algeria and Northern Africa in a general aspect. So we are trying to transmit that by programming different light contests with our sponsors. For instance, this one with Igutzili we just achieved to light our ancient city. So this is for Women in Lighting experience. It was very rich for me, and it changed a bit vision of people, I mean professional people that I work with, because let me say first I wrote this code. Sharon first contact asked me to tell what I believe in lighting. What's your code? So I said this: women by nature are creative and excellent at multitasking. Both are qualities necessary skills for lighting designers. This was clearly spontaneous sentence for me. I wrote it like that. I was driving, I think, sorry. But yeah, multitasking. And a few months later, I read a study done by BBC Science magazine that they tried an experience where a group of women and men were made a challenge where they had to do three things at the same time: answering phone call, doing a mathematics exercise, and the third one looking for something which is lost. So clearly women won first, but the first part is they have done it in a more calm way, more organized, and quicker. But I've noticed that when I'm working, because me and other women in the field are very calm and respond calmly to challenges and to men. Believe me, working in our society, as we talked earlier, is very difficult. We are patriarchal society where women are, by culture, by religion, by many reasons, are not the best in a natural way. But we are trying to prove that every day. So thank you. I told Martin earlier, I'm sure all of you have issues every day as lighting designers or as something else, but imagine my challenge that I have not only to prove that I'm good at what I do, lighting, and lighting designer as a woman, and make what I do known, because lighting design in Morocco, Algeria, wow, I mean, when I was studying lighting design, I had to say what I do in one sentence, but I couldn't. My grandma, my mom, my neighbors, what do you do for light? Okay, I do light for exteriors, for okay, you're electrician, you're what? Forget. So this is what we are trying to do every day, and I hope we can make it and achieve it with you as women in lighting and also as bright. Thank you.
So this will be a different Pecha Kucha thing, because I've been done like 7 Pecha Kucha before, but this is the first time I have no slides. So this is starting. First slide is apologize, because I'm a late person and normally I do things very on time, and I didn't send it properly, and everything was stolen yesterday. My computer, my phone. So I sleep very little, now I sleep a lot, but so that's okay. So the next slide is about okay, the presentation. When Juliette asked me, say, talk about yourself. So this slide is about me. And I was going to talk to you. It's my story. I'm kind from Chile. I grew up in the Atacama Desert, so you have to use your imagination. The desert and the sunniest place on Earth, the place that has the highest solar radiation in normal altitude. Of course, if you go to the Everest, there's higher, but in normal places we have the side. And also, as it's the driest place and it has the starriest night. And this thing somehow it made my line of life. I studied architecture in Santiago. I was very nerd. I studied a lot. Then I worked as an architect, and I realized I didn't know anything about lighting, and I decided to go to studying Bismarck, as many of you. But I was second generation, so I'm very no. So after that, I forgot about architecture. I became a lighting designer. I decided to come back to Chile and work on light. And after that, very many years of working in light, I realized that it was very important, and we were forgetting the darkness. So this is the darkness. So the day and night is important, but also the dark is important too. For very many reasons that you probably all know, there was the first manifestation of that was organized in Monticello, with, of course, with the and other very impressive people collecting and making a proposal for the importance of light and darkness, gathering science, culture, and design. So from the science point of view, there is a lot of science related to how much affect our health, that probably you already know, how much affect the environment, the flora and fauna, and not just for us, it's for everybody. For everybody, all our species are colleagues from this planet Earth. And astronomy, I said, and from the part of heritage, it's because we're losing the stars, and some studies say that 98% of Europeans cannot see stars in your city. The worst part, Netherlands, I'm sorry, and the hotspots of that. And it's not.
No, you're down to Genius.
It was the 20 minutes, the 20 seconds.
No, don't worry, continue.
Okay.
So, rewind it.
Start again.
You can start.
Yes, keep there.
Okay. So then the heritage. So we are here because we're multicultural, super fantastic people here. Because exchanges, historical exchanges through history that came but moving people from one place to the other in a good or bad way, from wars and conquest or whatever. And that was moving because of the stars. Before the GPS, we have to see the stars to know where we are. And then all these things were changing, and now we don't have it anymore. So somehow our responsibility is to take care of that light with the best lighting, the best designer, and also protect the healthy of the night. Not because of us, because for the environment and things that are important. So in that trip of darkness, I start to engage with art. And that is the best way to communicate. It's another way to communicate, because also you involve your sensation and concepts and emotion in a different way. That is a little different from design. So then, yeah, thank you for using your imagination. That was very beautiful slide. But the second part of my apology is because I'm coming from Chile, and if you are aware of the news, on Friday started a very catastrophic thing, like a violent thing that it was very collective, which is a mix of anger, but also hope. So it's a strange feeling. And with my head in other places, I forgot many things, and maybe for that someone stole my luggage because I was doing so. And for the thing for the riots, the reasons for the riot, it was somehow, I can explain in a political way, but what is the feeling behind that is egoism. And when that egoism becomes like in a very small collective egoism, and that it translates in a political view, you lost the community. And I think this riot is about coming back to get back the community. Because the super rich are becoming very egoist and becoming very selfish with everything, and they forgot what's happening to the others. And that kind of thing, it's a tricky thing, because that's egoism, you forgot about the other. And I will connect with it in some way, believe me. But it's when you can see that. I was speaking in London for the panel of womeninlighting, and it's somehow a type of discrimination, and maybe some of you have suffered some type of discrimination in different ways. So there's this racism, there is classism, there is cultural patronizing, and there is misogyny. And when you don't take care of or equal the women, it's a misogyny kind of discrimination that is very serious. And I have experienced all of them in different, with different meaning, you know. So mostly in Chile is classism, so I had to fight against that. So I thought when you invite me to be part of the womeninlighting, I don't know if I'm not 100% sure if I'm a full feminist to fight for that, because curiously in Chile, 70% or more of the lighting design offices are owned and run by women, which is very different from the European thing, which is very exotic. I think it should be the other way. And I say, I don't have to fight for women, because it's the other way around. And we organized the first Women in Lighting Chile. Appears like very many women, that some were in the first slide at the light television, that I didn't even know that they exist. They were more silent, and they were able to show off, that hey, we're doing this because normally in the super popular events are the same people, but when they say women, the shyest show up. So that was something, and then I realized that all the dim thing about women and make a very hard platform to show, it's super important, because it's a way to present and be able to be, I forgot the word that you use, equal, like, what is the hashtag?
50-50 balance.
The balance. The balance thing. So, that was a super apologizing thing, because I lost everything, because my mind was in some other place. But I'm very happy and thankful to be invited to be a part of the Women in Lighting thing, because I think that it will help. Not now, I think it will have a very very happy future, and it's growing to help in a little way, in our way, to eradicate somehow the egoism and this from design and from all things, if we can involve with collective things in our own. Have you seen it? The fantastic women that have presented before. So thank you very much.
Well, I'm Claudia Paz from Lima, Peru. So this is the first slide because I'm an architect, but then sometime I decide that I'm more social. I know that this is going to hear wrong, but I'm not that egocentric as an architect, but I love architecture. So I decided to do lighting because I like the freedom that I feel when I do lighting. So I begin to light churches, and it was fantastic because I sit there, I close my eyes, and then I open my eyes and then see it lighted. So for me, it was like magic. And then the LEDs and RGB, no matter I'm an architect, always black and white and all that stuff. I like the color. So I decided to put some color in our country. So I did this amazing lighting in a building that was the first building with RGB media facade. And then Emma arrived. And when Emma arrived, I believe that it's not true what they say. When your baby sleeps, you sleep. That's not true. When your baby sleeps, you can't sleep because she's going to wake up 3 hours later. So I said, what I'm going to do? So I decided to create a magazine because I know that there's not a profession of lighting design in Peru. So I want to create what makes me really happy and passionate. I want to create my own career and feel free because I am a bit claustrophobic. I need to be free. And I create this magazine. I don't put my projects. I put the projects from Europe. I send it free so that people can know that lighting design is another world, only not made by engineers but designers. Then I decided to travel around the world. I know it's expensive, but I managed to do that, you know, because I need to know what is happening around the world. And this journey, I met a friend, it's Dominic, from DJ Light when they have 3 people in the studio. And we do DJ Light together because I was doing Christmas light for Endesa in its Nightmare 1, Nightmare 2, and I said, no way. We need to do something more engaging. So we do this project together, DJ Light, and I decided light should be interactive because we don't want the same thing all the time. I'm the person that always trying to change. I don't like life be like this. No, I'm passionate about what I do. So we do the interactive stadium. I don't like football. Football always lose. As you see, I was the leading with all these men working for me. It was great. So we did the picture because I bring a lot of people from other countries to help me with this idea that I have that at that time nobody had it because I said, these men screaming in the stadium saying, oh, go, whatever. What we don't translate that to the facade. So I tell Dominic, I have a great idea. Can we do this? And he said, of course, we can do everything. So then, we don't have an aquarium in Lima. So I was doing the lighting design of a shopping mall and I said, I want an aquarium. Because I love that plant aquarium. So we begin to design this projection. It's not lighting. But I said, I like to see the smile of the kids. You know, thinking that this is the shark whale that I see in the plant aquarium that I love. And then I begin to do interactive installations because for me, really, the best reward is seeing these kids smiling. So I always say, it's not really about the money, it's about being happy. So I see my kid goes to my installations. She has 2 years when she was the first one to touch the field of the stadium. Because I need that she knows why I work until late. So it's me and Emma always. She is one of my workers. She knows really what I do. Not even my father knows. My father is an economics. I think 5 years ago, he told me, he asked me, what you do? Really? You put lights? And I said, well, you're not going to understand. I'm being free. So I began to design all these installations and, made me so happy. I think life is great. I'm a positive person. Emma teach me a lot. Tapio says one time from Life Design Collective that I design for children. Yes, Emma make that the children inside me step again out. So I'm really happy. This is Emma. This is a picture that goes around the world because I remember that I was talking with a programmer and the programmer is saying, nobody's going to spin. And I said, please, if you spin the projection in the floor, the people are going to spin. And then we open the installation and we do the projection spinning and everybody began to spin. And I said, no. I know. And the most important thing for me, really, is you. I travel because for me, studying, I never studied lighting design. I can't because I don't know where to go. So my friends and you, the lighting community, are the ones that teach me a lot. And I think you need to play, to be happy, to share, to enjoy life, and feel free. Because when I see a woman, dancing in my installation, or I see a kid saying, Father, this is magic, I feel so happy. So for me, being a woman in lighting, as Paulina says, in Peru, is a lot of women now, is to make there, also jump there. We are a lot, it's a lot of women doing this. And I think will help them to be as strong as I do to create my own profession and be happy because I don't feel that I work really. I always having fun. So thank you so much.
I think I should be the last one. So I'm sure that all of you want to go to party. So it's a 6 minutes. 6 and 20 seconds. Cool. Yeah, that's it. Well, tired a little bit, to be honest. It has been a very long day. So, great. Okay. So, I'm sure that all of you have been inspired. I didn't know that I was the last one today, so I was about to start a little bit different. So, I have been very inspired, and thanks so much for sharing all of this. So, my name is Katja, and I'm a lighting designer. So, I was born and raised in a beautiful country, in Greece, and I'm coming from Athens. How many of you have been in Greece or Athens? Please raise your hands. Oh, wow! Wow! Okay, that is unexpected. Cool, great. So, as far as I can remember, I have always been inspired by natural light. So, as a child, I was looking at the stars, at the sky, the gold, the reflection of the sun and the moon in the water. So, it has been really amazing, but I'm interior architect, I forgot to say that. So, this is how, it's a bit crazy how I went into lighting. So, my inspiration has always has to do something with nature and natural light. And inspiration can be found everywhere, and I'm sure that, it's everywhere. But for me, it's always something little. And my biggest inspiration is the sun. And maybe it's because of my Greek origins and the Greek god of light, Apollon. But I'm one of those people who loves to be bathed in the warm light, especially during golden hour. Can't find this in London though, but fine. So my lighting journey, I started in Athens in a conference when I found about the profession, and then I moved to Barcelona. I had an internship there to work with light and see what it does. And then I decided to study, where I went to Sweden, to KTH. So I studied there, and finally I moved to London, where I'm working as a lighting designer at Urban Electric.
At Urban Electric, we are designing ephemeral installations for fashion events, private parties, and immersive experiences. And I'm daily challenging myself to experiment with light and different materials. So this is me challenging myself. For the very first moment, I discovered my passion about light. I started participating in conferences and different events, and I had a feeling, a calling, if I can say, to share my experiences with other people all around the world. So this is when I started my online project, Archifos. And if you would like to learn more and discover more, please feel free to reach out on social media. I'm here today. I really want to collaborate and connect with all of you. But today I want to speak a little bit about Women in Lighting, this beautiful project that I have the honor to collaborate with Sarah Martin and Formalighting. So my role has to do with the online storytelling of the project, sharing activities, and spreading the word into our social media platforms. And from the very first moment when the project started, we didn't really expect that today, after less than a year, we would have 65 ambassadors all over the world. And it's still, there are so many countries that do not have representatives. So this project keeps growing and it's bringing people together, and that's amazing. And for me, the magic of this project is the strong bonds of the communities, the independent communities that have been created in different places in the world. And the moments that we receive emails from the ambassadors feeling super excited about their activities and their achievements, and we're like, wow, I mean, that's the goal behind all of this. And you have been asking how you could take part in this and how you can be part of this family. And now it's your turn to submit your audio, video, or even text interview. It's really simple, like just follow the guidelines, yeah? So, Balance for Better. That was our very first online challenge. And here I just want to say that it's amazing to feel this passion, this power that we have when we all come together with one main goal, to raise awareness about life and gender equality and about our profession. And I honestly believe that we all have something to share. Every single one of us has something valuable that can contribute to other people, can inspire other people. It's really important to realize the power that you all have. And I feel that it's our responsibility as members of a growing community to expand our knowledge, to connect with each other, but also to create strong professional relationships, as Claudia just said. And yeah, I mean, okay, so I have never had to unscrew another woman's light bulb in order to shine. And this quote just came just on time when a female friend of mine shared her experience for female competition in her workplace. Why? Let's shine all together, because we are rising by lifting others. We are rising by inspiring other people to find their passions and expand their potentials. So look at the people next to you now and see how you can collaborate, how you can help each other, how can you connect. Every single action matters, like everything, for sharing your activities with your colleagues, or providing valuable content online, or even being a mentor for somebody who asks for your advice and needs your help and your guidance. And I just want to close with this one of my favorite quotes. If you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together. And let's find this light within ourselves and shine all together. Thank you very much. Well, I think this was an amazing evening to see all these beautiful women telling about their stories and how they became a lighting designer, being vulnerable, showing personal stuff, telling their personal stories, which I think is great because hopefully now it will be easier for other people also to make this step and just show we're all humans, we all have a passion, and we all want to maybe be noticed in one way or another. And I think we can all help each other, which is, I think, super nice. I would like to thank Light Collective for their involvement, and you, of course, super nice how you've been doing all the social media. Formalight, for supporting also today to do this Pecha Kucha, which I thought would be easier, and it was quite a challenge. And I'm super happy and proud, because I think we all should be super proud of doing it tonight. There's only just one last thing I want to show you, because maybe some of you want to go to the party, and it's actually like not very far from here. You can walk to it, and I'll just show you how to get there. You can also have some drinks here if you want, that's also fine. And just maybe I just have to look for the route. There I go, 20 seconds. Thank you. Okay. Well, you are here at the Vijverhofstraat, which is actually, it used to be a former railway up here. So there used to be a train which was going up above. There are a lot of underpasses by this railway which are not looking very good. The tracks have gone, but to make a nice transition to your next location, Paula Artsen and I have been working for 2 years to create the light track. So we've been lighting up areas here which weren't like a barrier and didn't feel very nice or safe, to make it like a nice place. So when you walk to Annabelle, you can walk, you just follow this road or this building, and then you'll pass by the track of light. And you'll have different ones. The installation didn't always go very well. You also pass this installation, which didn't take 2 years to install. I think it was like 2 days. They didn't need permission or anything. And then when you get to the colored one, you go underneath the underpass to your left, continue by the railway. You'll pass by a bird, there'll maybe be some parting outside. And then you walk till the end of these buildings, and then you think you can't go further, but you can just follow the corner, you go around the corner, and then you get to the yellow bridge. And the yellow bridge is actually quite nice to walk on, because it gives you this kind of Rotterdam city experience. And then you'll bump into this big building, go down the stairs on the end, turn around the building, and you'll see Annabelle. So if you want to party, you can go there. But you're also welcome to have some drinks here still, if you don't feel like partying over there. Okay, thank you very much.